Hello, everybody. Happy, I was about to say Sunday. It's Saturday. Welcome into ZeldaSpeedRuns 2. Today we have a Skyward Sword randomizer race for the Remlits tournament. This is Group Levias. It's game 1 between SpaceRawk and Sledgen. Tracking today, we have Jade Minaboo and Aurelins, and here on commentary along with me is Vimilia. How are you, Vimy? Yeah,
I'm excited. This is the first race I've gotten to volunteer on in a while, so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be commentating with you. Hopefully we will get some sand ship just for you.
Well, you know how I love my sand ship.
I do, which is exactly why I said I hope we get some sand ship. This is the first race of the 10 for SpaceRawk. And I just pulled up the standings. And Sledgen is 1 and 2 right now. There will be a total of 8 matches per player in the Levias group, so there's still a lot to be played. This is the halfway point for Sledgen, and the first of very many for SpaceRawk, who I think has had some scheduling conflicts. But we're going to get underway shortly. I don't know. Hopefully it's a fun seed. I feel like the seeds in this tournament vary between very fast.
Means anything. Eldon Uruguay. We're looking for something pretty good already just by the name.
That's true. We are, although I don't think we like ways in Skyward Sword. But we're getting underway. The 15-second countdown is starting. We've got set FS on fire. I think Fire Sanctuary might already have a lot of fire inside of it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can set the dungeon on fire.
Too. Yeah. Also, thanks OniLink for your subscription. Really glad you are here with us today.
Yeah. As
we are watching some SSR. Levias is the highest group of our 4-seeded full groups. So both of these runners know some pretty cool strats, and I'm excited for what we'll see today.
Yeah, I mean, SpaceRawk really was grinding and practicing a lot before qualifiers. He's a little rusty. Sledgen has just been playing consistently. So let's see. And I apologize if you hear typing. I'm going to try and mute the loud typing noises.
Ooh, a goddess plume. That's exactly what we want in a speedrun. Wait, this is a random. Alrighty. Ooh, no significant readings in Skyloft Village.
Farronwood.
No significant readings in Farronwood's some of these hints. Okay then. It looks like we are in for quite a seed.
That is interesting. So that small key on second trap magma, I am gonna bet both runners will skip that check. So we got LMF Fire Sanctuary. We've got 2 of our 3 Fungeons. Sadly, no sand ship though.
A very, very clean early Zelda room from SpaceRawk. Let's see how it goes for Sledgen. Both very clean. Wow, excellent.
That Farronwood's Barren path, it's not going to affect their routing early on, but we're not going to really see anyone go down, I think, to the Farron region until they get the Water Dragon scale. Unless they get like a very early harp.
Yeah.
Because that's a 10 check region that's completely dead. I think we're going to see a double Eldon start. With Eldon being path to Moldorak.
Ooh. I think we're really seeing an Elden Star.
Yeah, and I'm betting those mitts are the upper Skylock path. I did not grab all of the item hints, but I saw swords are in Lake Floria and Sandsea. And then the FS second Magma has a small key. I didn't see what the other one was. Oh yeah, Fledge and Chest and Shack are dead.
Alrighty. We have some fun stuff happening over here for SpaceRawk.
Yeah, he is gonna set up a bit magic file.
Okay. We like that. That's our first projectile.
Yeah, that. I mean, there's a world where that could also be our path item. If you get something weird like every projectile is locked in Upper Elden area or Beetle Shop.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen that often in these settings. It happens a lot more when you have a restricted start. And this is a pretty... Yeah, they start with a lot of things already.
What in the world? Oh my goodness. Magma mitts?
Yeah, so I think those mitts are probably our Girahim 2 path because... So we know, because the second trap Magma has a small key, Magma mitts are always required logically. So my guess is those mitts are our path item.
And a beetle. All right. We are getting a bunch of items here real early.
Yeah, and we're seeing some divergence. So SpaceRawk is going to go to Elden first, Sledgen clearing Central Skyloft. There are 5 Sphere 0 checks that are just open from the start here in Skyloft. I think a lot of runners like to get all of them at the beginning. But Elden has a lot of checks, and SpaceRawk is going to be able to clear almost everything in Elden. The only exception is there's 2 Beetle Lock checks that he may not be able to get if he doesn't get a Beetle early on.
We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, either way, Magma mitts within the first 5 minutes is wild.
Yeah, this is one of those seeds where I would get very suspicious of the lower half of Bokoblin base potentially having something. And that's not a place either runner is really going to want to go at the beginning of the seed because you can't do much. But it's, if you douse it and you get something in one of those early checks, it might be something you want to think about.
Or if you just douse it to get you an idea of what items you might need to come back with, information is still very helpful.
Yeah, I am very bad at dousing Boko base and knowing what is where, but yes, that is very true.
Ooh, fire shield earrings.
Okay, I am now... My suspicion level is growing here. That logically the seed is going to expect them to beat Fire Sanctuary before LMF.
All right, we got a ping.
Yeah, I don't know if that is the Bell's Lock check. So there's 2 chests that you can get, actually 3 in the lower area that you could get with these items. And there's a Triforce.
Triforce. That's nice and pretty.
Yeah. It's always funny to see a Triforce here because I remember this used to be really broken. Like the Triforce in-game item is just kind of broken. It has weird characteristics that had to get fixed. And so the Triforce would actually not fall down off the chandelier for a while. And you'd have to exit and re-enter.
Really nice trick shot there from SpaceRawk.
Yeah, that is a kind of precise trick. He practiced it a lot. Because you have to just do it really quickly. Yeah, and it looked like there was nothing on top of the entrance to Magma Turf, so not having the beetle is not really going to hurt SpaceRawk at all. Yeah, the interesting thing is with the bottle and with Magma Mitts and Fire Shield earrings, you have access to the front half of Fire Sanctuary. And in fact,
these runners, speaking of having a beetle,
and with Hook Beetle that Sledgen's going to get, I think Sledgen might actually do Fire Sanctuary his first time here. Because outside of Gus Bellows, he's got everything he needs to full clear the dungeon. Now the Girahim 2 fight is...
to pause a moment there and say, we're less than 10 minutes in, and he has almost everything to full clear the dungeon.
Yeah, the dungeon that has the most item requirements. But like I'm reading this logic, and maybe there's gonna be Gus Bellows here in Eldin, and that's our path item to Moldarak. But basically, because they can skip, I guess if Boss Key is in the chest behind the bombable wall, they also need bombs. But with the back in time tricks that these runners know, they're at least going to be able to get to the back half of Fire Sanctuary and potentially clear all but 2 checks in the dungeon.
That's just such a wild start. You don't normally hear, yes, rushing Fire Sanctuary. Sounds like a good move.
Yeah, I mean, typically, like if you get Bottle and Fire Shield earrings, the logic of the game could be expecting you to kind of double dip the dungeon. Fire Sanctuary is maybe the worst dungeon in the game to do that with. Although again, with RBMs, these runners at least can do the back half. No, wait. I don't know if they can, because I don't know where the commits are without a slingshot. See, Skinny D, I don't think Sandship is actually that bad to double dip, because it's a pretty open dungeon. Fire Sanctuary, if you can't get to the statue in the middle, requires a lot of backtracking.
But see, if you get to go to Sandship twice, you get to go to Sandship twice, and we always love more Sandship.
It's true. We do love Sandship. Yeah, I'll be curious. So I don't think SpaceRawk is going to go into Sandship or go into Fire Sanctuary unless he gets another beetle here. Oh, this is interesting.
The amount of items.
So you know how I said I would maybe not go to Farron? Actually, with the items they have now, you can full clear all of Sealed Grounds. And now it might actually be worth going to Farron, even though you can't do all of Lake Floria.
They have some decisions to make.
Yeah, because it's... I mean, I don't think they want to go to Lanayru yet, but that's a possibility. SpaceRawk's not going to want to go to Fire Sanctuary because he's locked out of too much without Hook Beetle.
SpaceRawk's showing us another fun trick.
Yeah, this Eldin Out of Bounds trick. First try.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very clean.
Yeah. The one thing that might stop them is entering Fire Sanctuary with only one bottle is a little slow. Because you do have to run back and refill your water a second time. But I don't know. I think because you got so many other items here, you might want to go do some other things. But I kind of have a feeling that the seed is telling us that either our Gust Bellows or our bomb bag for LMF are locked behind fire shield earrings. The other interesting thing I realized, so Sledgen had the hook beetle, could have actually done the last two dig spots first. But I don't think he did. It could very well just be that he didn't think about it. Yeah, if I were in Sledgen's shoes, I would be going to Fire Sanctuary right now. And that's probably not the right play, especially with only the Goddess Sword. Fighting Girahim 3 with just the Goddess Sword is awful. There's not really any better way to say it. It's one of the worst things you could do, because the Goddess Sword does not a lot of damage. Oh, they don't have claw shots. Thank you, Audrey.
Aha, yes, that's fantastic, Audrey. Thank you. My brain is... I'm very good at being impressed right now, but I'm not very good at logic. But I'm also not good at logic ever. So...
I'm good at logic when I'm running. When I commentate, for whatever reason, I forget a lot of things. Yeah, I think Lineru is probably the play here. But I would not hate either runner going and doing sealed grounds. Like, you really don't want to do Gorko 20 minutes into the seed. But also, if you're thinking about what could be locked behind Harp or Ballad, it's Thunderhead, the item from Call-In, the song from Impa and Sealed Grounds, or the Gorko.
Does Beetle count as Skyloft Village? I can never remember which checks are considered village.
No, that is just Melara in these settings.
Just Melara? Okay. My brain can just never keep them straight.
Yeah.
Because both of our runners also have some good money and projectiles to reach Beetle.
Yeah, I think SpaceRawk is planning on chaining Beetle with rest of Central Skyloft here. And
money.
I think maybe save scumming in case he has to buy more things. Loses a little bit of time, but depending on what items are here, might be worth it. For instance, like if there's a Triforce on 300 or a sword and you don't know it's on the 100 items.
Yeah.
But just committing some arbitrage here. Sadly, the way that Beetle works, if Beetle has money, is you get the money first and then you pay him. So when your wallet is full, you end up paying him.
How disappointing.
But that is 200 rupees that Beetle has. Okay, so
Lots of
Beetle.
rupees. Gratitude crystals and rupees.
Yeah. Is Sledgen going back into Boko base here? Or did he forget to grab this statue? I don't... Yeah, Sledgen is going to go into Bokoblin base. I think SpaceRawk grabbing the safety stamina potion in case he needs it. Doesn't feel... He knows how to do the brake slides to get into desert, but this is a nice safety to have because it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Of course, he has Hook Beetle now, so it doesn't logically require the potion. All right, so one of the chests that pinged here, is that 3 items in the lower half of Boko base? Sledgen's gonna reping. No, it's just the 2. Okay. So one of the checks here that doused is locked behind the Gust Bellows. If this is something really good, though, this is going to be huge. This could be huge for Sledgen, because I don't think SpaceRawk's going to want to go back before he gets Bellows. I think he figured out from where the items were dousing that was at least one of the checks that had something.
I mean, this is definitely an interesting play to just see different routes.
Yeah.
Because we definitely have checking this high level.
Yeah, and SpaceRawk is going to Patrol pretty early with only 30 crystals.
As they always bet on bat unless you're told not to.
And that is a slingshot. That'll be useful for some back in time shenanigans later. Yeah, and Sledgen is going to do this Collins letter check. So I think he is looking at that path and saying maybe Ballad has something. So I wonder if we're going to see him go down to Farron. Because the other thing is, the one check you can't get in Sealed Grounds is Zelda's Blessing, and that can only be a Triforce or something that locks your Triforce. And with these dungeons...
Jade says that was also hinted dead.
Oh, it was. Okay. Yeah, then I think going down to Farron and clearing Sealed Grounds and maybe doing early Lake Floria is not the worst idea. But Lineru has check density. But yeah, Sledgen is going to chain Oriel and Pero first.
So Sledgen is getting Oriel taken care of, and then whoops.
And he's going to check Beetle as well. Oh. Yeah, the one thing about the fast loft wings is it can be very easy to miss your target when you're trying to jump off them. It's an amazing quality of life upgrade. But it's been tempered a little bit in certain ways. Including if you're fighting Levias boss fight, the Loftwing actually gets slowed down. That's a new one that won't see in these settings, but Looks like neither Spiral Charge Rock in the sky had anything.
Nope, I didn't catch anything on those pings.
So, yeah, the only useful thing in the sky is that Triforce in Lumpy Pumpkin. If Sledgen is going to Farron, he might detour there first. And Jade, you are all good. I wrote down most of the hints. These runners just move through them really quickly, and I can't understand SpaceRawk's chicken scratch. Oh, Sledgen had checked Lumpy already. It was SpaceRawk who hadn't.
Yes.
I'm good at paying attention.
You are doing great. Sledgen also about to make that discovery of crystals and money.
Yep. I think we'll actually be quite relieved. It's nice to know that those 5 loose crystals are there. Those 5 crystals are there. Because you'll probably get money as the seed goes on. And we'll probably not have to do loose crystals. Take it from me. You don't want to do loose crystals. Not in these settings. I do them and it's a mistake. Yeah, I think
they're fun. But I also don't actually play the game. I just enjoy talking about it and hanging out with people who play it. So
they're never required by the logic in these settings, and so it's not useful. I did 15 loose once in a practice seed just to show someone. Yeah, and SpaceRawk, or not SpaceRawk, Sledgen also checking Beetle early. I think hoping maybe there's something here. Because there's not a great option for either runner right now. There's Thunderhead where you can only do 2 of 4 checks. There's Sealed Grounds and Farron, which is, you can do some things here, but then Lake Floria is out of logic.
Ooh, claw shots. Well, I think there's more options now.
Yeah, including Fire Sanctuary. I don't think we're going to see the runners do Fire Sanctuary. To be clear. But with those claw shots, you can do Fire Sanctuary. You cannot do all of Boko Base, but you can do Volcano Summit.
Ooh, very nice arrow.
Yeah.
One of the cleanest arrows I've seen.
I think the reason that the reason people hate the Gorko check, I'm convinced, is because the game's drawing AI is bad. More so than it's a bad check. You can think you're drawing an arrow and just not.
Okay, and we're going Thunderhead for Sledgen.
Yeah.
We doing Mineru? Yeah.
Not surprising.
That was my immediate thought once we got claw shots was, Mineru sounds good.
Yeah. My immediate thought is Rush Fire Sanctuary, but that is definitely that is also dependent on them being able to do the statue RBM, which both runners should be able to do. But yeah, it's interesting. Sledgen, I think, has the idea, right, that Harp or Ballad are his path items. He's just chasing a different location first. And I mean, if this has Gust Bellows, that's pretty good for him. Because I think he's probably going to go down to Farron if he is chasing the hint logic. I assume nothing pinged in mine, which is why SpaceRawk is skipping it, but I could be wrong.
I don't recall if... I think I was looking at what Sledgen was pinging at that moment.
Yeah, And with these Baron, with Farron Woods hinted Baron, the chances of there being
It's another bottle.
Yeah, the chances of like unhinted Baron Thunderhead or unhinted Baron Linear Mine are higher. I was like, why isn't SpaceRawk checking? Gorge was hinting Baron. That's why SpaceRawk's not bothering to check the pillar. Yeah, and SpaceRawk will be able to clear about half of desert. There's a lot that's locked behind the bomb bag, but you can douse everything. So you do get a lot of information going to linear right here.
Dousing really is a quality of life upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, I started watching and commentating season 2. I think you did before then.
I watched season 1 and I started commentating and volunteering in season 2.
Yeah, chest dowsing. Okay, so it looks like the Linear Mine area is barren. So Sledgen is going to do bit warp here. We did find one of our 2 unhinted swords here as well.
That Boko did not want to leave. How rude.
Yeah, the knockback is lower when you don't charge the shot fully.
Money.
The claw shots are going to help SpaceRawk though here.
Oh yeah.
We know one of the checks is a bottle, but there are 2 or 3 chests here that are claw shot locked that could have something. Is that...
Alright, we got a ping.
Looks like shortcut chest. And yeah, SpaceRawk is going to use his stamina potion here. I say that as he drowns in the sand. I don't know if you knew this. It is actually physically impossible to drown in quicksand.
I did know it.
Yeah.
But I've also watched so many things as a child that told me I could.
I know. I have as well. SpaceRawk should probably douse again because this shortcut chest
is a Triforce.
Yeah, it can block some things that are in the back, but nope, it looks like nothing else in Fire Node. I guess I should talk about what Sledgen did. So Sledgen did what's called a bit warp. Essentially, if you save... So back in time, you soft reset at the right time, and you end up being able to play on the title screen. One of the things you can do is you can save while you're on the title screen. And if you save while you are loading your file, you will save the coordinates of the save statue on Skyloft onto the map that you're in. In this case, you see it dropped Sledgen pretty far out of bounds, but you can run to the cave's entrance that SpaceRawk was able to get to easily. The physically impossible part, Jade, is sinking low enough to drown in quicksand. Like, it has to do with your body density, and because your upper body with lungs has a lot of air, it's less dense, and it's actually physically impossible to sink to like head level in quicksand.
Don't get me wrong, you can still have a certifiably bad time.
Yes. But the thing in movies where people like
perish.
not from drowning.
Maybe from other things. Alright, we have 40 crystals now. I'm not sure a Korok would be dense enough to be able to sink far enough underneath you.
Wow.
Okay, talk about a Laneru.
That is 2 swords. So we know where all 4 of our... We know where the rest of our swords are. SpaceRawk, because SpaceRawk has not been to Thunderhead yet, is going to be able to full clear it. Because with the claw shots, he was able to get the white sword. So I imagine we may see him do that soon. And I feel like I'm gonna be repeating myself here, but I really think the seed is telling you to go to Fire Sanctuary. Yeah, the secret passageway chest has something. SpaceRawk is going to get this out of logic. It is a somewhat precise trick because the range of the quick beetle from this bomb is not super long, but if you keep it completely stable and flat, you should be able to get close enough. And bombs in this game have a stupid large radius. I wonder if we're going to see Sledgen try for this trick. Yeah, Raylands, there are 2 different bombs you can use for this trick. And yes, this is not in logic. Because it requires really good controller calibration, among other things.
And sometimes controller calibration just does not want to work with you.
Yeah. If you have the tough beetle, it's required. But nope, that's just our 4th bottle.
All the bottles. Let's just get all the bottles.
Yeah, and Sledgen, without a stamina potion, he is going to need to run kind of quickly to catch up unless he just does the break slide, which I think that's his plan. Yeah, and SpaceRawk is going into LMF. Potentially. So there's nothing in this first chest. This is one of the dungeons that's easier to kind of double dip. You can find out pretty quickly if your gust bellows are hard required or just logically required. Because there are a lot of shenanigans you can do in this dungeon without bellows. Although many of them are not necessarily the smart play.
I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
You make
it is.
decisions, and they aren't the smart decisions, but like, you gotta get swag points every once in a while.
Yeah, there's nothing locked behind the small key. There's one chest locked behind Gust Bellows. So it's possible that they're locked out of the dungeon anyway. Because you can't even get that chest on the left side without Gust Bellows. That's one of the there are a few things in this dungeon that are hard locked behind Gust Bellows. And let's see. We got this chest on the right side that has a vanilla small key in the vanilla game. Okay, so we are seeing Sledgen do this trick from the other location. Both of these are possible. Again, both require you to keep the beetle completely level. And okay. Yeah, according to Jade, this is more precise. All right, so we've got the shortcut chest and the boss key chest. SpaceRawk is thinking about what am I going to do here. I didn't see what was on the left side. Yeah, that is a vanilla small key, but
So close.
That small key actually locks nothing in the dungeon. Because there was nothing on the right side locked behind the small key. And this, as Jade says, this one is more precise. I assume what SpaceRawk is doing is just the bit warp rather than all of the other back in time stuff in LMF, but I don't know for sure.
I sure cannot tell you.
Yeah. Sledgen, I don't think you're gonna get this.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah! Good job.
That is really precise. Because I think what happens is if you drop the bomb, it stops it from exploding until it hits the ground. So I think you have to wait until it's basically about to blow. I'm guessing that's why that one is more precise. Jade can probably correct me if I'm wrong about that. Yeah, so there are 2 reverse bit magic tricks that you can do here to basically open up this gate in the middle of LMF and push down the shortcut box. So what SpaceRawk is doing is he is setting a memory flag back in time. And if you do that as you're loading your file, the memory flag actually sets in your loaded file. Then you just have to reload the room. And we will see. You have to reload and reset, I think.
We've also been seeing some very clean break slides from Sledgen.
Yeah. Again, I'm kind of wondering, so we didn't get a hint for LMF boss key chest, but we know that it has something in it. Could just be junk. Could be the vanilla boss key. It can't be our Gust Bellows, and it can't be our bomb bag. But there are a lot of other useful items it could be. And I'm very curious. Very curious to see what Sledgen does here in LMF. Like I know SpaceRawk is committed to practicing all of these bit tricks in LMF. I don't know what Sledgen's attitude is. I also did not see SpaceRawk ping anything on the left side in the back, which is also hard locked behind Gus Bellows. Yeah, and there is the two RBMs for the shortcut chest and for the door here.
Key.
Well, there's our boss key. So SpaceRawk might actually beat Moldarak here without Gus Bellows. But he is going to have to come back because there are at least 2 checks that are locked behind Gus Bellows. We know at least that bomb bags is not our path item. Oh yeah, and he has to minecart jump here as well to even get to Moldarak. All right. So it's only 1 chest that's locked behind Gus Bellows in the front part of the left side. Well, 2 checks because the boss key chest. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see what Sledgen does. Because I think if the boss key chest in LMF has something, SpaceRawk is probably going to wait until basically the end of the seed to go for it. And I don't know if Sledgen is going to do all of these tricks.
No clue.
Yeah, he's just going outside. So I think he's probably headed to Sealed Grounds right now. With what he has available, he's got 6 locations available according to his tracker. 3 of those are in Sealed Grounds. 1 is in Thunderhead.
A safety safe from SpaceRawk here.
Yeah, and I think Sledgen is going to do...
Bellows doesn't go well.
I think this is going to be... Sledgen is going to do the bit warp here to get to their... to get to that 1 claw shot lock check. Yeah, you've got to do the safety save here because if Moldarak buries himself, if you fail the quick kill in phase 2, you are soft locked from defeating the boss without Gus Bellows.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why doing this Dungeon Bellows list is a risk. While these runners are probably very good at doing Moldarak in 1 cycle, it's not free. But basically, you see he's got Moldarak backed up against the wall. When he kills this claw on the left side, essentially you can quickly stab Moldarak's eye a few times.
1, 2. Oh.
Yep.
All right. Yep.
And
Safety safe.
If you do not get all 4 hits, then you are locked out. Sledgen does now have his white sword as well, so might actually go to Thunderhead. But I think he's going to be at Sealed Grounds relatively soon. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember to ask SpaceRawk about this because I think LMF boss key did ping.
Yes. You can only get so many of those checks depending on what level of sword you have, though.
Yeah. So he had the goddess sword the first time he came here. He'd only get one of the checks here. But he has white sword, so he can get the other two.
Money.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Because that quick beetle logically can unlock some things, but will not require anything. Yeah, SpaceRawk is having some trouble here. This first phase of this fight is not...
The big guy is not being nice.
Yes. And I'm worried.
1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Excellent.
I was a little worried because it looked like Moldarak was kind of in the corner and the angle might have been a little off, but he got it. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep repeating this, but the seed is very clearly directing our runners into Fire Sanctuary. Sledgen, though, I think is gonna do
5 loose.
I think this is a 5 loose play. I think he does not want to go to sealed ground, and this is time that he's bleeding away right now. I get why he doesn't want to do sealed grounds. It's just obviously we know what's there.
You're welcome, Beetle.
I think he's gonna get the crystal on Beetle at night. I don't think this is faster than warping to start and getting 5 loose at night. Otherwise, this was getting talked about in the server. But if you don't have to go to Beetle's shop at night, this is probably not worth it.
Oh no. Your batteries are almost depleted.
Is that
did you want another
bottle? Or 4?
Yes. I think that's
that's 5. So we're at bottle percent. I think SpaceRawk might have not picked one up somewhere. But because he's got 4 tracked on his tracker. Sledgen has 4.
Wasn't one of the checks in Boko Base a bottle?
Yes, that's right. That is where the 5th bottle is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, SpaceRawk's going to go Thunderhead here. Get these 4 checks out of the way. Yeah, and the nice thing about Quick Beetle for doing loose crystals, it does make it easier to get some of these ones that are out of the way. He could get the one on the West Cliff. He could get the one on the Light Tower. He might just be going into Oriel and Pero's house and going to daytime. That's 50. As the known lover of loose crystals, I think good choice is I would have maybe done the one in Oriel and Pero's house and gone to daytime, but I get why Sledgen got the ones he did. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that he's putting off sealed ground basically as his last locations, because we know it has his claw shots that will unlock the seed.
But he doesn't know.
Yeah. But again, I think the interesting thing here really is going to be what is in the rest of what are in those checks in LMF that SpaceRawk skipped. Because, I mean, I guess it could only be a Triforce. But if it's a Triforce, that could be huge for Sledgen.
I mean, at this point, we're running out of bait things that it could be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a world where your bomb bag is there, locked behind bellows. Your cave's key could be there.
I mean, Cave's Key in this seed Spiral Charge.
Yeah, well, spiral charge won't unlock anything. That would be junk because the 2 spiral charge rocks were dead. Thing. Yeah, I wonder where Sledgen goes once he gets his claw shots. But also, I am admittedly I am a early Lake Floria doubter, but with the sword hinted in Lake Floria, and you can ping 1 check and get 2. If you're already down in Farron, I think it is not a bad idea to go to Lake Floria and get the statue. Since you have to go there.
All right. SpaceRawk saying, "Welcome to Boko Base."
Yeah, gonna be very disappointed when he just gets that bottle. Sledgen's tracker
Or,
only.
maybe he'll be excited because it'll be bottle percent.
That's true. I actually think SpaceRawk will be more sad he doesn't have bombs because he's been practicing the bomb boost to get over that wall. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see both runners entering Fire Sanctuary close to the same time. It's just SpaceRawk will have a lot of checks up on Sledgen. I think SpaceRawk's trying to debate, is it faster to Death Warp? There's some bombs here, which he can use to Death Warp back to the front. Oh, Sledgen messed up Gorko. That is unfortunate because that requires a console reset. Not a console reset, but a save and quit.
Yeah, drawing sometimes. Hard.
It's like I said, I think the reason this is hinted is because the drawing recognition is not amazing. It's like, I think it's just to check people dislike.
There we go.
Yep. Oh, did SpaceRawk forget to get the statues higher up? He must have. And forgot to blow up this wall. Wait, did Sledgen?
Sledgen just saved.
Forgot to. That was an arrow, but the second time Gorko does not ask you for an arrow, and you have to talk to Gorko. Oh, poor Sledgen. I think this is a heart now. I will say... Oh no, it's a rupee. The bomb versus rupee versus heart, it gets much harder. I think he's going to take out Angry Gorko now.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yep. I think this is going to take... I think this is going to take Sledgen back to Eldon, finally. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, that skydive is...
Not my favorite.
trickier than you realize. The skydive physics with the Wii Motion Plus are somewhat janky.
Sure thing.
This is one of like 2 places where they get really bad in the rando. Well, actually, this one's faster for Sledgen than the one by Earth Temple. Let's see. What do we have here?
Just more crystals.
More pick 6 disappointments. I do love SpaceRawk's gear wheel with 5 bottles. You do not see that every seed. So we still need Water Dragon Scale and Cave's Key. Potentially could still need Whip. And we need 1 Triforce.
Yeah, it's... I mean, in the end, we're back where we began. Hi, Eldon. Hello, Fire Sanctuary. Our runners avoided going to you for so long.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I would maybe consider doing... I guess at this point, actually, there's a pretty high chance that Bellows are just here. And so you might not have to do the statue RBM. I know SpaceRawk knows the dowsing in Fire Sanctuary much better than I do. The really big question is there's 1 chest in Fire Sanctuary that is locked behind Bomb Bag. And there's no bit or RBM or any other tricks you can use to get that chest. So if Bomb Bag's not here and your boss key is behind that, then the seed is going to require you to come back and double tip the dungeon. But yeah, we know where both small keys are. I think what's happening is SpaceRawk is trying to figure out whether he's going to do bit.
I don't know. All of the Fire Sanctuary bits get me confused real fast.
Yeah, there are a few checks that you can't. Yeah, there are a few checks that you have to get. You can't use RBMs for. Wonder if Sledgen is going to use his Quick Beetle to grab an arrow refill. Yep. This is smart while you're in the auto scroller, and there are Gust Bellows.
All right, well, that's we can get those other checks in LMF.
Yeah, so so now we definitely know. Well, our path item could have been either the earrings or the harp, but yeah, we have fulfilled our Elden Volcano to Molder path. Looks like the balcony chest did not ping. And with this, SpaceRawk, we'll be able to clear all but one check in Fire Sanctuary. And the question is just, does it have our boss key?
I like how they put Elizabeth here as if by this point in the game they're intimidating.
Well, this is one of the ones that can curse you. All right, SpaceRawk trying to do the bomb trick, does not have bomb bag. I think Sledgen is debating back in time, but needs to do the front half because he really needs to get those gust bellows.
That is indeed the trick that was done.
Just updating our path hints.
And bellows for Sledgen.
Yeah, and now I guess the other kind of big question for Sledgen, but also just for LMF, is where is our bomb bag?
No clue.
Oh yeah, I have no idea either.
Well, there's Scattershot.
Oh, so both runners are going to get it.
Unfortunately, that means that's not what I predicted.
Yeah.
Gosh darn.
I also decided let's open a bet. I'll close this within, I don't know, 2 minutes or so. For where our final Triforce is. So that is our last go mode item.
Nice double.
I'm gonna bet second chest in Pirate Stronghold. Although I should have bet LMF boss key. Hopefully my keyboard is not too loud when I type. Oh, thank you, Vinny.
I got you.
I mean, that's... I don't know. I think at this point, SpaceRawk is clearly ahead. Looks like... Okay, so looks like there's nothing in the chest behind the Bomble Wall and Fire Sanctuary. So SpaceRawk is probably going to do the statue RBM to skip the second small key. Oh, nope. Ooh, that's... Okay. Yeah, SpaceRawk realizing... the problem is there a commit in... I don't know RBMs. I don't know if there's a commit in that room. Oh, I guess actually probably the using your bellows on the
Fire.
On the fire will be a commit. But I think SpaceRawk is trying to figure out what to do. So we had small key was hinted on the second magma, and we have no idea what's dousing on that other chest.
This suddenly got a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, I mean, if Bombag is an LMF, then the seed is expecting you to go into Fire Sanctuary twice. Again, we don't know that that's the case, but would be interesting. Yeah, and SpaceRawk is doing the statue RPM. If you open your file and pick up this loose crystal in Oriel and Pero's house, that is the same memory flag as the statue in the center of the dungeon. I don't think that worked, though. Because that is one you have to have a commit for. And I don't think he did a commit.
I think we might be going back to LMF.
Nope. I think this is the only RBM I know how to do. And I know you have to commit it. I think he's about to be in for a surprise. Mind you, this is a fast trick to do. It's not a lot of lost time. Yep. And sees he did not commit. Sledgen, interestingly, is going to go free this magma. Oh, you know what? No. I know what Sledgen's going to do. Sledgen is going to jump off and skip to the back half that way instead of doing any bit tricks, I think. I don't think he's going to bother with the second magma right now. Although, no, because you need this small key to go backwards through the door. So he might actually do it and then skip to the back. Yep. Also, I am belated, but happy 1 hour and almost 10 minutes. Thanks, Mimi, for commentating with me. Thanks to our lovely trackers, Aurelins and Jade Minabu. And you should go follow our 2 runners. Yeah, thinking about this more, I like what Sledgen is doing here. Because for SpaceRawk, if he has to get back to this check behind this multiple wall for any reason, he's now going to have to go through the whole dungeon. Key lock doors you cannot go through backwards without the key to unlock them.
I've played Wind Waker Rando before. I know how that works.
Oh yeah, I assume it's probably the same.
Yeah, I think still need a key to open doors backwards.
Yeah. Well, and Skyward Sword uses the same base engine, I think, as Wind Waker. That's why Back in Time works in both.
Although I must say, it's much more useful here.
Yeah. So I think what Sledgen is going to do is get this key, and then probably... Actually, it probably doesn't even make sense to do the jump down to the staircase chest. Yeah, I mean, that... Again, the thing about what SpaceRawk is doing is if there's nothing in this chest, just like, if there's nothing in those chests in LMF, he's taking some gambles that could really pay off. Looks like the boss key has something, so I'm betting we're going to see at least one of the RBMs to open this cage. Or open the door. But he's going to go do Platts first. And Sledgen has made up some time.
Oh, yeah.
Just by virtue of SpaceRawk
Definitely.
kind of struggling with the bit stuff. And if the boss key is behind the bombable wall, then Sledgen's going to be in a better position. Not going to say much better because there's still other things, but yeah, I imagine we're going to at least see them do the RBM to get the door to the boss key lowered. I don't know if the second RBM to actually spawn the chest is faster than just killing the mold worm and doing the puzzle. There we go.
Nice.
Platts is very annoying to catch here. I will
Of all
say.
the Magmas, he's the one I identify the most with, gets scared and runs away.
Yeah, I feel that.
Just like, I too would run away if I got scared. Oh,
Ooh.
bombs!
Yeah.
Well, that's a discovery.
Yeah. Anytime you have bomb bag in the back half.
It's a little rude.
All right, there we go. Yeah, the trick with Platt is you want to like slightly back down. Oh, SpaceRawk. Oh no. He's about to be in for the other rude awakening here, which is that you are locked out that way.
It's fine. It's totally fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. We're gonna see him do the RBM at least. Oh no, he's safe quitting. So I think he's about to backtrack the entire dungeon. Oh no, he's safe quitting because he has a corrupt file.
And
It's faster to do the RBMs this way than to kill yourself with bombs.
alrighty. They sure did make this a rather confusing dungeon.
Yeah. When you do this vanilla, like, makes sense. But rando can rando sometimes. Did Sledgen save scum? Like, did he save at the statue? And...
Don't know, I wasn't paying enough attention during that time. I was watching RBM as you do.
Yeah, I think all SpaceRawk did was just get the doors. I don't think this. Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate for SpaceRawk. Because that means SpaceRawk is going to have to backtrack through the entire front half of the dungeon.
Ooh.
And Fire Sanctuary is kind of a long dungeon, so it's, I mean, backtracking through the whole front half of the dungeon to get to this check, it's a few minutes of time. During which Sledgen will probably be finishing out the dungeon, heading back to Lanayru. think we're going to see Sledgen do the same. I think he has a corrupt file, so I think he's going to do... Yeah, he's going to do this RBM as well. Yes, we did see the Mighty Scattershot used. The outside of... well, we saw SpaceRawk use it too. For his commit for the RBM. Oh, and it's just a useless beetle.
Beetle. Oof. I mean, like, the tough beetle is stylish, but it's not the most helpful for what we're looking at.
Yeah, at this point, it does not really unlock anything. I almost wonder, like, is SpaceRawk going to consider doing all of Boko Base and then coming back to FS here? Like, do the upper half of Boko Base into FS. I don't think it's the right play, but if you're having to fly out and continue, Boko Base will dump you out where you... Yeah. Boko Base will dump you out where you need to be. Again, it's one of those plays that like only makes sense because he has to leave and re-enter the dungeon. I don't think Sledgen's going to go to Boko Base. I think Sledgen's going to go beeline for Liniru.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably do the nodes and then LMF. Because there are a lot of pings in there were a bunch of pings in Lightning Node, I think 2 or 3. There was 1 in Fire Node, and then we also, he's got to finish his other dungeon as well.
Yeah.
So the chances that you've got, Cave's Key, Scale, one of the items you need are pretty high. Because there's not a lot of junk left.
There's really not. Alright, let's see. What does Upper Boko Base have for us?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the Bella's lock check. I'd forgotten about this one.
Scale.
Well, that is going to be required to beat the seed. Logically, at least. Because we have a sword in Floria. And there's 75% chance it's locked behind that scale. Sledgen using Moldorm's aggro against him.
Why not?
Yeah. There's another ping in Boko Base. Crystals. Yeah, I will say this seed is not doing our runners a ton of favors.
And I mean, like, when we started, it was like, wow, look at this seed giving us all of the things.
Yeah, it became a bottleneck pretty quickly. I think it looked more open because we were not thinking like, oh yeah, 10 check region in Farron is completely dead. Which just bottleneck them really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're going to see a little bit of a slower Girahim 3 fight than you're used to. Because usually in Rando, you'll see this with Master Sword or True Master Sword. In the vanilla game, you'll see it with Master Sword. The White Sword, I think, does half as much damage. Oh, it is White Sword and vanilla. Okay, so this is actually vanilla fight.
Vanilla? That doesn't sound very rando.
I know.
And there we are. Back to Fire Sanctuary for SpaceRawk.
Yeah, and the only thing in Boko Base was
Water Dragon Scale.
Dragon Scale.
Which is a kind of funny place for it to be.
Yes.
Like
the fire. This is the fire and lava.
Yeah, aesthetically funny.
Alright, so SpaceRawk re-enters this dungeon around 1:23:20. 1:23:25. I don't know what is he... I'm confused now about what he's doing, because
I
no,
assuredly do not know.
like, I don't think there's a bit trick to open up the shortcut on the bridge. Which, yeah, I mean, I think SpaceRawk just didn't realize that he had to,
Ooh, Final Triforce.
Yeah. Well, now that is very interesting. Nobody won the bet. I think, though, that's probably still better for SpaceRawk than Sledgen here. But I'm there's got to be some trick that I don't know about that SpaceRawk is trying to do here.
I feel like this is a moment where we are opening up a guide.
I would tend to agree. I'm guessing maybe there's an RBM to open up the shortcut between the two bridges that I just did not know about. That would be my best guess here. Yeah, and sure enough, Sledgen heading straight back to Lanayru.
Dropping by Skyloft first.
Yeah, gonna check the bird's nest here.
Is Bird's Nest not Skyloft Village?
It is not. It is on the central Skyloft side.
Keep straight which check is which in Skyloft.
It's hard even for us sometimes.
I mean, like, Knights Academy I understand and get that one pretty well, but the rest of them, they just all lead together.
Yeah, Skyloft Village is across that specific bridge. Oh, okay. SpaceRawk just bit warped to this bridge. That's all. But probably should just use the claw shots. Okay. Sledgen actually going back to do Boko Base.
Not a bad play.
I mean, it's going to be good for him when he gets the scale. I assume he's going to do top half. Yeah, I genuinely did not know you could do that bit warp in front half of FS, so it's fascinating to me. Sledgen changing his mind, though.
Okay.
I think it makes some sense in his shoes to actually just go clear his dungeon. Yeah, that's fair, Jade. It's just not something I would have thought about. That the room the room is loaded in when you're in that part, as opposed to when you save there. As opposed to from the very front door, it's not.
I certainly don't understand Bit well enough to be able to explain it and talk about it in depth.
I'm not the right person.
Especially the Fire Sanctuary ones. Right, like I can talk about the basic ones, but not Fire Sanctuary.
I understand Bit. I don't do Bit when I race, so
I understand the concept of it. But then you asked me to identify which one they're doing? Nope.
You mean you don't know 0x06 memory flag by heart?
You know, I sure don't.
I assumed you did not. That is our sacred bow. Taking one more bait item off the table. This seed is interesting because I think SpaceRawk is still ahead.
Well, excellent. If 0 times 0x doesn't exist, then it's perfect for me to not know it.
I'm glad I made up a number that did not exist for the joke. Yeah, so I was saying, like, okay, that whip potentially could be useful, depending on where in Sansi our sword is. I was saying, like, it does feel like SpaceRawk is ahead right now, but it's kind of going to depend on where our swords are and where our caves key is. Because if there's nothing in the chest in LMF that SpaceRawk, or if there's something in the chest that in LMF that SpaceRawk skipped, he could spend a lot of time having to like double dip some areas, especially not mines. Yeah, he could just spend some time. So I don't know.
I mean, it certainly made our race more interesting.
Yeah, it's nice when you see a lot of divergence. Which, like, it's fun when you get to see the runners do totally different things and totally different paths. And, like, man, SpaceRawk. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is, like, I will say, just a not very efficient clear Fire Sanctuary for SpaceRawk. I think largely because of him not realizing that you needed the key to go backwards. Like, they entered the dungeon. He entered the dungeon a minute ahead. He's going to finish the dungeon, I don't know, 5-6 minutes later. And some of that's Boko based, but it is a decent sized time loss.
Yeah, perhaps adding more fire to Fire Sanctuary was not the play.
Yeah, and that is a useless spiral charge.
I was hoping we'd find that.
Yeah. If I was right that the boss key chest had something, that's going to be probably that could be a decider for the seed. I could have been wrong about that, though. I think we're going to see from Sledgen very soon.
And Gira be nice.
Girahim is never nice.
I mean, you know, what if he was just like, you know, just for you this one time?
SpaceRawk is wailing on him, though. Yeah, and again, for SpaceRawk, really the only question is, where is Caveski?
No clue.
Because he is going to go to Lake Floria next.
I don't like all the damage that we're taking.
No, and this is one of the few bosses where there are no hearts in the room. So you do have to be a little careful.
Good.
Oh, okay. LMF boss key had nothing. So, yeah. So, SpaceRawk is definitely ahead then. Because our cave ski is probably in Lake Floria or Fire Node.
I have a secret. One of the commentators is also the restreamer, and it's not me.
Wait, I'm restreaming this race? It's news to me.
I thought you were.
Yeah, I mean this is I think SpaceRawk's race to lose.
I mean, a lot can happen.
That is true. But he's definitely ahead at this point. Like my guess is our caves key is in Lake Floria. And we know he doesn't have to go back to LMF. Like logically he's not going to have
straight to Farron.
Makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah. Indeed. Is that not what we do on any of the ZSR channels?
I would never blame Traz unless he deserves it. Nice minecart jump from Sledgen. You just want to be very careful to not move and knock yourself off here.
Ah, well, we are blaming Tress.
You know, that is fair. The channel point reward does say that. And SpaceRawk is going to do the rope
for you.
I have never tried this trick. I don't know how hard it is. As I say that, though.
I think there's a few different setups, and it's just depending on which setup you like. I think the one that the one I've seen the most is the one Jim uses.
I think this is his trick that he discovered.
Esme? No. Come on, brain. New name.
Tony?
Yes, thank you. I'm trying. My brain just blanked. I want to use the correct name. I just need my brain to cooperate.
That is a big mood.
Also has a setup.
Okay.
So as far as I know, there are 2.
Jade, I don't think that's true.
I mean, how would we know? We're not in the back staff of ZSR, Jade and I. We don't know this. Mm-hmm.
Are you sure it was the summon Trez redeem and not there's a separate thing for ZSR streamers to summon Trez if there's an emergency? I think that's what you're referring to, Jade.
I am waiting for my opportune time to use my summon Trez.
And there's yeah. So SpaceRawk just needs to find the sword. Really, the only hang up is if it's whip locked. But my guess is SpaceRawk is going to do P-hat skip if he thinks it's locked and one of the 2 whip lock checks.
But yes, we are approaching. Ooh, that was a very deep dive into the gods there.
And Sledgen should think has Molderak backed up correctly. Yep.
Excellent. Beautiful.
Yeah, so definitely SpaceRawk in the lead. Just a question of where's the sword. He'll probably do the P-hat, skip RBM if he has to. So not even going to bother getting the whip. I will say, SpaceRawk's FS adventure
was wild.
It probably inadvertently helped him win the race because it got him that scale earlier than he would have gone for it. Like, I don't know when he would have gone for... Would he have gone back to Lanayru or gone to Boko Base first? But going there a little earlier kept him from going to Lanayru.
Alrighty. Are you ready to sail upon a sea of sand?
I am. Unfortunately, we will sail past the epic sand ship.
But such is life, unfortunately.
We unfortunately did not get the 1 in 3 chance of our wonderful, beloved sand ship. Now Sledgen is at bottle percent. I think Sledgen is going to go to Boko Base because he is at 5 checks remaining, and I think all 5 are in Boko Base. Although I think he forgot about the back of Fire Node. SpaceRawk skipping skippers here.
I mean, right, like you can ping Pilot Sanctuary, and if it doesn't ping, you can go back.
True. But you can also ping skippers from the beginning.
Yes, so but one is going to be a lot more fun.
That's true. Skippers is not fun. And also, if something pings in skippers and you skip it, it's going to end up being your sword, and it will cost you a race. Not that I'm speaking from personal experience.
Ooh.
White sword dowsing. That could be our sword, or it could be... Actually, it could be... No, it's probably our sword. Oh, it's a heart. Forgot, there's no ping option for hearts. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Sledgen played the seed well and played it smartly. SpaceRawk just took one kind of big gamble early on in the seed. Well, I guess there were two things. One was he went to sealed grounds earlier. SpaceRawk is definitely closer to go mode at this point. He knows there's a sword here in Sandsea. It's the last sword he needs. He will be able to access it. Sledgen still needs to go to Lake Floria, get his caves key, and then come here and get his sword in Lake Floria. So, I would say barring a disaster, this is probably SpaceRawk's race to win. That fair?
Yeah, I think at this point it is.
And to be fair, if that last sword is on the Whiplock chest and SpaceRawk really struggles with the RBM, things have happened. But yeah, it's SpaceRawk is in the lead. Mm-hmm. And aside from the obvious of just going to sealed grounds earlier paid off, his bellless RBM was a big risk. It could have been a disaster, but his bellless LMF ended up working out because there was nothing there. And
so
that is go mode. I will say, I think even just gameplay execution, I think Sledgen has played really well. It's just item placement was what it was, and
both of them did some very challenging tricks incredibly clean.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is Sledgen's boss fights were, I think, if I were comparing the two, much cleaner. So what is go mode in Skyward Sword? So in these settings, and this can change, you need to have the True Master Sword, which is the level 6. You start with level 2. You need the harp to open the Gate of Time and 3 Triforce pieces. Plus you need to have completed your 2 required dungeons.
But that might look different in Season 3, which will be coming up after this turn.
Yeah. There could be more required dungeons or a lower sword finishing requirement, potentially.
You'll just have to wait in anticipation and see. Oh, I do. But it's not
definitely know more.
Yet.
Sledgen shooting the fire dragon. He also has gotten a lot of low battery alerts from Fi.
Oh yeah.
If your battery is in the red, you get that. So the dungeons don't necessarily, they could have nothing required, but the Gate of Time will not open if you have not defeated the 2 dungeons. So it's in the game memory. You have to complete all of your dungeons to open up the Gate of Time. It's, there's not a medallion or a, I forget what they're called. There's not a dungeon reward. It's just the seed knows in memory if you've completed all of your required dungeons.
I must say that one of my favorite things about the Remlits settings is no imprisoned and no horde.
I mean, imprisoned, I think, is never coming back in racing.
I would be perfectly happy if it never came back.
I imagine horde is going to come back in Season 3. I hate horde. I'm not good at it, but
I don't mind it. I definitely am just so glad that we no longer have the imprisoned fights.
Yeah. Well, that
It just
was like a
felt like
programming
such a
limitation,
barrier for entry.
right? Like they had to basically program a way to remove the fight after season 1. Or am I wrong about that?
I am really bad at the timeline because I
That's
wasn't as a not player and just a viewer.
Yeah.
But
All
no,
I know is
it was well
done by
requested and happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Horde is a little better now because you can have heart spawns with hero mode damage. Like, I haven't done Horde since that was re-added, but I think it makes it easier. But yeah, the imprisoned fights are just awful. Like, nobody enjoyed them. They're kind of a skill test, but it's a dumb skill. Yes, SpaceRawk had a little difficulty getting the stun lock in phase 2, but very clean phase 3. About to enter Demise. The Demise fight, how he responds to your attacks is very scripted. There is basically no RNG in this fight, so it's pretty. There are consistent setups and consistent strategies for the fight that you can do.
I mean, the best thing about the Imprisoned 3 fight is the Gruesinator.
And that was a pretty clean phase 1. Had a little minor hiccup at the beginning, but recovered. The shield is like your best friend in, frankly, most of the game fighting, but especially in this fight. The Highland Shield is just overpowered. And that is GG's for SpaceRawk. A 149.46. And I think he's going to come in for an interview. Sledgen's probably going to finish up. That'd be my guess. And yeah, let me pull SpaceRawk in.
Welcome,
GG SpaceRawk.
Hi everyone, GG's.
All right, I want to ask you first off, because I have put a pin in this an hour ago.
Go ahead.
Why did you do Bellows-less LMF with something locked behind Bellows?
What do you mean? What was locked behind Bellows? Oh, because, well, okay. So that was Chest in West Room, which, in my opinion, is not too bad to come back for, especially considering I may have to come back for Lightning Node anyway. And there was literally nothing else. It was a 50, like, okay, and also, like, the boss key was either going to be in Shortcut Chest or West Room. And so, but the thing is, like, between West Room and Shortcut Chest, Spike Maze, First Crawl Space, nothing was pinging at all, not even Boss Key Chest. So either way, it was going to be a slow route to get to the to Shortcut Chest either way, without much checks. So I figured, you know, instead of waiting until I have Bellows I might as well just take the 50-50 and see if I get Boss Key there, then I can at least finish the dungeon and, you know, just hope that West Room has nothing. And if it did, then, like I said, it wasn't too bad to come back for.
That's fair. Sorry, I should have started by asking you, what did you think of the seed? But I have had that question for like an hour.
I don't really know what to say. That was something. And may I say, and I'm sure a lot of you are thinking the same thing, I have never done bit that much in my entire life. And that was, I guess some people have nervous like habits. I guess mine is just doing bit unnecessarily when I get nervous. So there you go. But yeah, really bad bomb bag location, and
oh yeah,
I was just hoping for, and scale as well. It was like whether you tried to skip that small key in FS or you like went for it, it was gonna be slow either way, and it was so confusing because I had to do like every bit trick I knew in FS, and then like some of them even slowed me down more than they should have sped me up.
Yeah, and
it was bad.
I gathered that you just did not think about the fact that you needed the small key to go back
Yeah.
through that door.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, well, I need the small key. And then it's like, so I went back for that, but then I went back and got the small key, and then I came back and realized since I bit warped, the gate was still closed. And so that wasn't going to work anyway, so I had to leave regardless. That was terrible. And then one point I just did the RBM from the wrong statue, and the other time I didn't commit. It was bad.
Welcome in, ZSR, as we are watching Sledgen finish up while we're getting to talk to SpaceRawk. So, I wanted to also say, you did some tough tricks beautifully.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I was upset when I messed up early Floria, but I mean, I haven't played much this week at all. I've been doing work stuff, so I was a bit rusty. But thank you.
Yeah, and you smartly saved before the Molderak fight. So I know even though he went and got buried, I think he was just stuck in a weird place at the corner. You at least
thank God
didn't have to.
I saved. Yeah, I was like mashing A already for the boss key, but luckily it didn't go in, and I managed to realize I should save.
Yeah. Oh, Sledgen did go into Skippers. Got the last gratitude crystal pack behind the mob lane. He's pretty close to going though.
Once I found Cave's key, I was like, I should, I was like, okay, well, I know my sword's in Sansi, I should just run. And it didn't occur to me to wait for whip, and as I was flying there, I realized, oh, I might need whip. So then I had to do some, like, strategizing. Like, okay, I'll go to Pirates first, and I saved in Harbor in case I wanted to do the P-Hat RBM.
Yeah, you were okay.
Yeah. Man, I thought it was just because Pirate Stronghold was more fun.
Oh, well, that too. It is more fun.
I mean, look, if you saw my race yesterday, I skipped Skippers and went to Pirate Stronghold, and I was probably behind but my key was there. So
nice. Yeah, skippers stay winning. Sometimes, not always.
Yeah. Now something else really neat. You got bottle percent.
I did, and really early too. That was fun.
Yeah.
I think Sledgen is gonna DNF. So
okay.
He decided he did not want to finish the seed. But he's gonna come in for an interview.
Yeah, between the cave ski and the scale and the bomb bag, that was horrible.
But your adventures in Fire Sanctuary helped you by getting the scale earlier.
Yeah, that is true. Bellows was, I think, in the second chest. Yeah.
Welcome in, Sledgen.
GG.
GG, Sledgen.
That was a trip. I
Indeed
felt like I was going to lose.
I did too.
So Vimy and I were saying this, Sledgen. Like, I actually think you played the seed pretty well overall. Like, okay, maybe you shouldn't have gone to Thunderhead earlier. Maybe you should have gone to Sealed Grounds earlier. But like, I think you read the logic really well. I mean, you had some very clean gameplay, like very clean Molderak fight, very clean G3 fight.
You mean G2?
G2, yes.
Okay, yeah.
SpaceRawk did a bunch of tricks that all kind of paid off in various ways. He did Bellsless LMF. Like, you two entered around the same time.
How did you feel about that seed?
That seed was kind of exhausting to play, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I had less than 10 checks accessible for like half of the entire thing. I had to logical double diff of LMF. Like when I basically last location my claw shots at sealed grounds, before that I was getting really desperate, and I was like, I could do Bellows-less LMF, but West Room is pinging and I don't want to orphan it, so I decided not to, and in the end it was the wrong decision. Fire Sanctuary having Bellows and bombs was insane.
Yeah, and locking scale.
Yeah, and it. I felt very behind. I probably lost about, I don't know, 3 minutes just from mistakes, but I'm happy with most of my execution. It's just I felt very behind because if I didn't do like certain tricks, then that would have cost me a lot. Oh yeah, when I went into the Elden Pillar, and then went back out to the sky, I had the full intention of going to Lanayru. I just for some reason muscle memory went to Elden.
We were
Did
wondering
you
about that.
you
Yeah.
did a linear start or?
Oh no, this was like later on.
Oh, okay.
Just before I went back to Elma for a second time.
We thought you were going back when we were like, oh, you're going to go to Boko Base.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about it would have been wiser to make use of my time whilst I was there. But my thought process was like, if my items are an LMF or Lightning Node, which had 2 pings,
Mhm.
I'll be able to skip Boko Base, which would save time over me just doing it right now. So I decided not to. And then that also ended up being the wrong decision.
I did also
Yeah,
want
I
to say
think
for you,
though it was like,
Sledgen,
go ahead.
your break slides were perfect today, and they were
Thank you.
excellent to watch.
I made a few mistakes with them, but I'm glad you thought they were good. I've been working on my break slide movement.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean, I
you
know.
definitely have better break sides than me. I was
Yeah,
lucky
like
I
I
had the stamina.
know, Sledgen, you feel bad. But, like I don't think you necessarily made like bad routing choices so much as just your choices didn't pay off this seed, which is just kind of how rando is sometimes. Like,
Yeah, just
right,
got
like going to
It's a very
Linearu and
weird seed.
finishing LMF and doing all those checks probably did make a lot more sense than going to Boko Base at that point.
Yeah.
So it's just the way rando is sometimes.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed me getting the loose crystal on Beetle Shop though.
Oh, you
We
did
did.
that?
I mean, I'm always
That's
a loose
awesome.
crystal enjoyer, so
Yeah. I didn't want to have to do loose crystals, but when I had 4 locations accessible, I was getting desperate at that point. So yeah.
I thought about it as well, but I think it was between loose crystals or like Thunderhead or something, and I don't remember when that was, but I opted not to.
Yeah, in the end, I guess I just got randoed, and at the end, when I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna finish out the seed and go to Sansea, and then it's like in a pirate, so I just didn't want to finish at that point.
No,
It was just
this was
so
a
draining.
weird seed. I don't even know what I can't even tell what the optimal route would be for this. Like it was a weird one.
Yeah,
And that bomb location was not kind to either of you.
Not at all. Not at
that
all.
was probably the funniest part of the seed. But
I
yeah,
mean, I thought the water scale being like really high in Boko Base was funny, like aesthetically.
Yeah, that's always fun when FS locks you out of Poco base checks. bombs were. Oh, I don't know.
Bombs were on Platt's chest. Trying to think. I don't know. Do you all have anything? Any other questions? Vimy, do you have anything? I cannot think of anything.
I mean, it was a very interesting seed. At the start, y'all had magma mitts within 5 minutes, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then bombs were in like a terrible location, and it was just a roller coaster of emotions to watch.
It's the robo jumper theorem that bombs are either really, really early or really, really late. And
No, yeah.
it was proven.
Yeah.
I feel like that's also the case with Whip, which I didn't even find. Sledgen, did you find Whip or?
Yeah, it was in the back of Lightning Node.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I found everything. I found literally.
I found everything
single-
except Whip and crystals. One crystal.
Found every single bait ping in the entire seed.
I know that
You
feeling.
also got bottle
Sledgen.
percent.
Yeah. What? I'm trying to figure out. Oh, my Elden path was earrings for Bellows in Fire Sanctuary, right?
It might have been harp for claw
For
shots.
claw shots. Okay, it was
Yeah.
one of those two.
Yeah.
I
They
was
both were path to
yeah.
path in that case.
Heart path is fun, but yeah, I was confused. I remembered that I found Hook Beetle and Mogma Turf and not Elden, and I was waiting to find Bellows so that I could get Chest on Cliff and Boko Base, and then I saw how few checks I had accessible, and then I was just like, you know what, I'll decide to dip it because I'll feel stupid if it's something important. And so I did, and then that didn't pay off. It was just... Yeah, it was just like all the decisions I made didn't really pay off, and in the end, that's quite draining on you. But GG's again, and I'm definitely gonna watch this back for sure.
GG's. Me too.
It was
I
a
thought this
roller
was
coaster.
interesting.
It was good to watch.
Yeah. Did you get the Mighty Scattershot space?
I did. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Nice. I don't even remember where they were, but I got them.
That was actually our prediction item today. Was the scatter shot. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to the Twitch channel to check the URL for my Nightbot command, and then I saw that was a prediction.
I indeed lost points.
But yeah.
Well, if you all don't have anything else, then I think we will wrap up the stream. GG's to both our runners, SpaceRawk and Sledgen. Thank you to our wonderful trackers, Aurelians and Jade Minabu. And thanks to my co-commentator, Vermilia.
And also thanks to Golden. Woo!
Yeah, I don't need thanks.
Nah.
Thank you.
I think this is the last thing on ZSR for the day, but there is some Zelda 1 stuff and potentially also a Skyward Sword randomizer race tomorrow, and a whole lot of Zelda 1 vanilla tournament qualifiers coming up as well. But with that, we are going to go right over to Cross Product, who's doing an SMZ3 randomizer. So thanks everyone for watching, and have a good Saturday night.